Hello out there to all my insomniacs and night owls. If you're up this late, then you're in the right place. This is Static After Dark. Ooh. Tonight's story comes from Arizona, and I'm just gonna start by saying this is horrifying. So I got me and my little sweet treat over here and my little cup of tea, and let's get into it. Tonight's story comes from a caller in Arizona. They asked to stay anonymous, and after hearing what happened out there in the desert, I can't really blame them. The first thing people get wrong about the desert is thinking it's empty. It isn't, especially at night. There were 5 of us in the RV. Me, my girlfriend Katie, my best friend Nolan, his younger brother Eric, and Eric's friend Mason. We rented this old, beat-up Class C motorhome and drove out in northern Arizona for a weekend camping trip before summer ended. The place we picked was miles from anything. No campsites, no tourists, just dry earth, twisted trees, and miles of black desert stretching under the moonlight. At first it was fun. We parked the RV near this rocky wash surrounded by dead trees and spent the evening drinking cheap beer around a fire. Mason kept trying to scare everyone with ghost stories he'd read online. You know the ones, skinwalkers, cursed mines, cryptids, all that stuff. Katie hated it. She kept telling him to stop because the desert already felt, well, wrong. Not dangerous, just wrong. You know that feeling when you're somewhere you feel like you shouldn't be? It felt just like that. Around midnight, we started hearing noises out past the firelight. Branches snapping, slow footsteps. At first, no one thought it was coyotes, but whatever was moving out there sounded heavy. Too heavy. The weird part was the pacing. It would walk, then stop. Walk, then stop again. Like it was circling us. Mason grabbed a flashlight and shined it toward the trees, but there was nothing there. Then Eric laughed and said something I'll never forget. "You guys are acting like it's a Wendigo or something." The second he said that, the noises stopped. Completely. No wind, no bugs, nothing. The silence hit so fast it honestly made my ears ring. Katie immediately told him to not say that word again. Mason laughed at her. "Oh, come on, what? You think saying the name's gonna summon it or something?" And then from somewhere out in the dark, we heard our RV door shut. All 5 of us turned at once. The RV door had definitely been open. I remember because the yellow light from inside was spilling out onto the dirt. Now it was closed. None of us moved. I remember Nolan trying to laugh it off, but his voice sounded shaky. He walked over and opened the door again. Nothing inside looked disturbed, but the smell hit us immediately. Rot. Like wet meat left in the sun. Nolan gagged and shut the door again. That's when we heard it. A voice from the trees. "Mason." Perfectly clear. Exactly Mason's voice. But Mason was standing right next to me. None of us said anything after that. We just climbed into the RV and locked every door and window. I don't think any of us wanted to admit we were scared, but we all knew something was outside. Around 2 a.m., the scratching started. Slow, long drags against the metal exterior of the RV, like nails running across a chalkboard. Katie started crying quietly while Nolan peeked through the blinds. He immediately shut them. I asked him what he saw, but he just whispered, "It's tall." That's all he said. It's really tall. The scratching moved around the vehicle for almost an hour. Then came the tapping. 3 knocks on the roof directly above us. Mason finally lost patience. He kept saying somebody was messing with us, probably another camper trying to scare us. Eric told him to sit down, but Mason grabbed a flashlight anyway. Then he said the name again, laughing this time, mocking it. The second he did, something slammed against the side of the RV so hard the whole vehicle rocked. Katie screamed, and outside, we heard running. Not on the ground, on the roof. Heavy footsteps sprinting from one end of the RV to the other. Then silence. Complete Silence. Mason's face went white after that, but it didn't matter anymore because we heard breathing outside the driver's side window. Slow, heavy, like an animal. Nolan barely lifted the curtain enough to peek out, and then he froze. I'll never forget that look on his face. He looked broken. Like his brain couldn't process what he was seeing. I pulled him away and looked myself. There was something standing beside the RV. Its head nearly reached the roof. Too thin, too long. Its skin looked stretched tight over bones, pale in the moonlight, and its eyes. God, its eyes looked human. That was the worst part. Not glowing, not monstrous, just human. And it was smiling. The thing slowly tilted its head toward the window like it knew I was watching. Then it spoke, in my voice. "Let me in." I shut the curtain immediately. Nobody slept after that. We just waited for sunrise while that thing circled outside. Sometimes we heard footsteps, sometimes scratching, sometimes our own voices whispering from outside the RV. Near dawn, things finally went quiet. I don't remember when everyone fell asleep. I was surprised we were even able to after what we experienced, but I guess fear is exhausting. Peeking through the curtains, we saw the desert glistening from the late morning sun. The desert was empty. No tracks, no animals, nothing. At first, we thought it was over. Then Katie asked where Mason was. His sleeping bag was empty. The RV door was cracked open. We searched for him for hours. We found his flashlight about a half a mile from the camp, sitting upright in the dirt, still turned on. But Mason never came back. No body, no blood, nothing. Police blamed the desert, said he probably wandered off drunk and died from exposure, but I know what I saw that night. And sometimes, when I'm trying to sleep, I still hear scratching outside my apartment window. And every now and then, I hear my own voice whispering from the hallway, "Let me in."
Okay, so I know damn well I ain't never gonna be camping in Arizona in the foreseeable future. That was unsettling, to say the least. If you happen to have your own creepy story that you love to share, please feel free to reach out. Just don't be surprised if something answers back. My name is Sam. I was your host for tonight, and this was Static After Dark. I hope to see you guys next week with another new horror tale. All right, I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Words. All right, bye.